Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. Although it might seem surprising, Meemaw predicted the origin story of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage way back in Young Sheldon Season 1. The very title of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is a testament to how much the show owes to its predecessors, The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon. When Young Sheldon's finale ended, Sheldon's older brother Georgie seemed to be happily married to Mandy, the mother of his daughter, Cece. If it weren't for The Big Bang Theory, viewers could have assumed the pair lived happily ever after. However, in The Big Bang Theory Season 11, Episode 23, the sibling realignment, Georgie's older self referred to his ex-wife in passing. This meant that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage now needed to explain why the couple broke up despite their apparent stability in Young Sheldon's ending. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage began by changing the format of Young Sheldon, switching from a single-camera sitcom with a narrator to a multi-camera sitcom with a laugh track. Welcome to Movie Spy. Meemaw predicted Georgie wouldn't graduate high school in Young Sheldon Season 1. The exchange occurred in Young Sheldon Season 1, Episode 10. Thus, the plot progression of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage was inadvertently set in stone by a throwaway line from The Big Bang Theory. However, this was not the only time that one of the sitcom franchise's earlier outings shaped the story of the spin-off. In Young Sheldon Season 1, Episode 10, An Eagle Feather, a String Bean, and an Eskimo, Meemaw had a cutting exchange with a young Georgie where she questioned his academic future. When Georgie claimed he would begin working as a model straight out of high school, Meemaw laughed in response. Georgie feared she was laughing at his optimistic career plans, but it turned out Meemaw laughed at the very idea of Georgie graduating high school. This mean-spirited gag later proved that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's Meemaw was surprisingly prescient when she predicted Georgie would never graduate high school. In Season 5, Georgie dropped out of school to the chagrin of his parents and began selling tires. Ironically, this contentious decision went on to shape his surprisingly lucrative future career. Although an unexpected pregnancy and subsequent relationship with Mandy threw out his plans, Georgie proved a natural salesman and went from strength to strength in the world of tires. Viewers who were familiar with The Big Bang Theory might have been able to predict this since Georgie's older self is dubbed the Tire King of Texas in the original series. His chain of Dr. Tire stores are incredibly successful, although Sheldon predictably resents the implication that his brother is promoting himself as a doctor of anything. Georgie dropping out set up Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's story. Georgie began selling tires after leaving high school in Season 5. Although Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's Missy story was underwhelming in Season 1, Young Sheldon's spin-off has done a good job of paying off Georgie's story setup. Since he was a high school dropout in Young Sheldon's later seasons, Georgie has consistently displayed an impressive work ethic that makes up for his lack of formal education. This saw him through Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Season 1, eventually culminating in him taking out a loan to buy a tire store from Mandy's father, Jim, after he retired. While this was a sweet twist, the fact that Mary co-signed Georgie's loan by putting the Cooper family home up as collateral proves that Georgie may have bitten off more than he could chew. Just like when he impulsively left high school to pursue a future in business, Georgie's purchase of the store was a rash decision that caused him and his family a lot of undue stress. Both gambits might pay off in the long run, but Georgie's monetary success seems to come at the expense of his health. Young Sheldon's Georgie story set up his The Big Bang Theory role. Georgie resented Sheldon in thanks to his mother's favoritism. In Georgie and Mandy's first marriage outings like Episode 2, Some New York Nonsense, or Episode 12, Typhoid Georgie, Georgie's commitment to hard work leads him to run himself into the ground and fall seriously ill. Although the latter episode made George Sr.'s unexpected Georgie and Mandy's first marriage comeback possible, it was tough to watch Georgie put his health on the line for the sake of making money. While he needs to support his family, he has also always had a broader desire to make money for its own sake since Young Sheldon. This leads him to overwork himself, which in turn results in Georgie resenting those around him. In the sibling realignment, Georgie bitterly complained that Sheldon did little to support Mary and Missy after their father's death, forgetting that Sheldon was a young teenager living alone across the country at the time. It was hard not to feel like this resentment was at least partially rooted in Sheldon's higher education, which led Mary to dub him a genius. Considering Georgie's massive success as a businessman, it makes sense for him to find the praise heaped on Sheldon's career achievements frustrating. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Season 2 can bring back this young Sheldon story. Season 2 of Young Sheldon's spin-off can explain how Georgie built his empire. Although Mrs. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage story proves that she didn't take the untimely death of their father well either, it is George Sr.'s impact on Georgie that Season 2 of the spin-off is likely to interrogate. Meemaw correctly predicted Georgie's future when she said he would never finish high school, but she didn't know just how much this would impact his future as a businessman, a father, and a husband to Mandy. Georgie's success in The Big Bang Theory proves that he has a keen business sense and a canny mind despite his limited formal education. However, his tendency to overwork himself and resent those around him for failing to do the same comes at a cost to his relationships with his family and Mandy. It would not be a shock if, alongside fleshing out Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's breakout character Connor, Season 2 revealed that Georgie's work ethic harmed his marriage. Thus, although Meemaw predicted Georgie's high school future, she didn't realize what dropping out would eventually do to shape his worldview. Had Georgie finished school, he might not have developed the chip on his shoulder that drove him and Sheldon apart for decades, and this change may have even saved his marriage to Mandy. However, it is impossible for Georgie and Mandy's first marriage to now explore that alternate young Sheldon timeline. Thanks for watching.